House Speaker Mike Johnson, the most powerful elected Republican in the United States, is refusing to repeat or endorse Donald Trump's lies about the 2020 election. Watch.
Can you say unequivocally that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
See, this is the game that is always played by mainstream media with leading Republicans. It's a gotcha game. You want us to litigate things that happened 4 years ago when we're talking about the future. We're not going to talk about what happened in 2020.
As the news reports, first of all, the Republican, we are not talking about the future. 25% of their slogan, Make America Great Again, is about the past. Again, it's a fictional past, but the MAGA vision for the future is explicitly a return to that imagined past of way more than 4 years ago. And the obvious reason for litigating 2020 is to get some sense of the future and whether, in said future, Johnson will use his new position as Speaker to steal the 2024 election. As the Washington Post notes, Johnson was obsessed with the 2020 election for quite a while. Johnson led a congressional effort to overturn the presidential results in 4 battleground states, gathering 125 House Republicans to join him in signing a Supreme Court brief claiming that the results were fraudulent. Johnson was also among the Republicans who on January 6, 2021, voted against certifying the Electoral College vote for Biden in 2 key battleground states. But check out the part from Sunday that the Washington Post did not quote. Here's Johnson explaining why he has not been beating the 2020 drum lately.
Joe Biden has been the president for almost 4 years. Everybody needs to get over this and move forward. That's what we need to talk about. What happens on November 5 and the days after that? I think that's really important, and that's what the Americans demand for us to talk about.
So like Senator Vance, you cannot say unequivocally that Joe Biden won the 2020 election and Donald Trump lost?
George, I'm the Speaker of the House. I work with the President of the United States all the time. Joe Biden has been the president for 4 years. There's not a question about this, okay? It's already been done and decided, and this is a gotcha game that's played, and I'm not playing it.
This is Speaker Johnson saying Biden is legitimate. The Speaker refuses to say the magic words, Biden won, Trump lost, for the same reason the Speaker keeps calling it a gotcha question. It's a gotcha question because Trump is going to get Johnson. Still, it's important to highlight Johnson's refusal to legitimize Trump on all of this. And keep in mind, other Republicans are crumbling. At the vice presidential debate, J.D. Vance refused to say who won the 2020 election. 2 days later, after a talk with Donald Trump, Vance publicly said Trump won and it was stolen from Trump. Now, it's possible that Speaker Johnson will soon get an earful from Trump and go to that extreme as well. For now, though, Johnson is refusing to legitimize Trump's claims. And that's interesting and noteworthy. Now, there are some other unhinged claims being made in Trump land. Over the weekend, Donald Trump and his allies accused Democrats of trying to kill him.
And then, guys, they tried to kill him. They tried to kill him.
Wait, do you see Lara Trump smiling? Is she paying any attention to her husband? Or maybe she's laughing because she knows this is all bull.
And it's because the Democratic Party, they can't do anything right. They can't do anything right. You see it this week in the FEMA response in North Carolina, and in Georgia, and in South Carolina, and in Florida.
Yes, according to Eric Trump, Democrats are not only trying to kill Donald Trump, they are trying to kill his voters in Republican-leaning states through FEMA's inaction. Except that FEMA is taking actions, aggressive ones, to save lives and help people. But back to the Trump assassination attempts. Even the Don himself is now going there about Democrats.
The past 8 years, those who want to stop us from achieving this future have slandered me, impeached me, indicted me, tried to throw me off the ballot, and who knows, maybe even tried to kill me. You know, I always say there's an enemy from within, and there's an outside enemy. And if you're smart, the outside enemy is not going to be a problem. Russia, China, North Korea. We're not going to have a problem if you have a smart president. If you have not such a smart president, then it's a problem. But we have an enemy from within, which I think is much more dangerous than the outside enemy.
First, they tried to silence him. When that didn't work, they tried to bankrupt him. When that didn't work, they tried to jail him. And with all the hatred they have spewed at President Trump, it was only a matter of time before somebody tried to kill him.
Cue MSNBC's Joe Scarborough.
is stunning. That is un-American. They know they're lying. Donald Trump knows that's a lie. He will tell you that the Secret Service, he thought, did the best job they could do. The fact that J.D. Vance and Trump's family would out and out say what they said takes the threat of violence, takes the threat beyond where it was even leading up to January the 6th. This is an increasingly desperate person, an increasingly desperate family who's preparing for civil war. They just are.
Now, I agree with that. I think they are preparing for civil war, and the Republican House Speaker would be a crucial cog in that wheel if it turns. So what does Speaker Johnson say about the Trump family claim that Democrats want Trump killed? Again, Johnson is refusing to bite, but he's also not condemning the Trump rhetoric.
I don't think they're saying that the Democratic Party tried an assassination attempt. I think what they're alluding to is what we've all been saying. They have got to turn the rhetoric down. For years now, the leading Democrats in this country, the highest elected officials and the current nominee for president, have gone out and said that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, that, you know, the republic will end if he's reelected. It's absolute nonsense. And they have incited dangerous people to do dangerous things. The rhetoric has. I think that is a fact that's objective that everybody can agree to. We do need to turn the volume down. We have to have vigorous debates about policy, but not take it to that level. No one involved in this is a threat to the republic.
Which takes us back to January the 6th, when Donald Trump and his supporters were a threat to the republic as they tried to block the certification of an election that Donald Trump lost. And Mike Johnson voted against certifying the electors for 2 states Donald Trump lost. Now that he's the Speaker of the House, Johnson is urging Democrats to tone things down, and Johnson is refusing to legitimize Donald Trump's claims about 2020. So the question is, where will Speaker Johnson land in 2024? There is already an effort underway in states like Pennsylvania and Georgia to delegitimize the final election tabulation. The plan is to keep those states and others from being seen as legitimate if Kamala Harris gets more votes in those states. If neither Harris or Trump reaches 270 electoral votes, the Constitution calls for the race to be decided by state delegations in the U.S. House. Republicans control more delegations than Democrats. So gumming up the vote tabulations, blocking certain states of electors, and casting doubt on a close Harris win is part of the Trump world planning. The question is, when Donald Trump claims 2024 was stolen from him, how will our elected leaders and our nation react? Will there be violence as there was on January 6, 2021? Will the courts look at the evidence or lack of evidence about Trump's claims? Will the weeks and months after the election spark civil unrest, chaos, and yes, political violence? Those are legitimate and serious questions and concerns. But amidst the storm clouds, there does seem to be a silver lining. Many Republicans, including lawmakers who publicly support Donald Trump, seem tired of him. They want to talk about policies, not election grievances. And that refusal to go full bore in supporting Trump's most outlandish claims could be just enough to keep a lid on things. I know, it sounds optimistic to hope that Speaker Johnson and other Republicans keep their cool amidst Donald Trump's explosions, but we need optimism and hope in this election season. And it's not too much to ask for all of us to take a deep breath, stay calm, and give our democracy a chance to work, even as reality and the truth are under fire from Donald Trump. By the way, the stars do seem to be aligning for Kamala Harris, both in terms of the polls and celebrity endorsements.
Donald Trump is the most dangerous candidate for president in my lifetime. His disdain for the sanctity of our Constitution, the sanctity of democracy, the sanctity of the rule of law, and the sanctity of the peaceful transfer of power should disqualify him from the office of president ever again. He doesn't understand the meaning of this country, its history, or what it means to be deeply American. On the other hand, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are committed to a vision of this country that respects and includes everyone, regardless of class, religion, race, your political point of view, or sexual identity. And they want to grow our economy in a way that benefits all, not just a few like me on top.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Christy Shaw, who wrote, "We are never, ever going back." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson showing us that even he has his limits with Donald Trump. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.